this is Noreen from Joya Cards, and today we're going to be making this little cute card with the Santa on the front, and 'tis the season to be jolly in the middle. So let's get to it. So what we've got here is we're going to be using Holly Jolly Christmas, just the package, believe it or not, and we're going to be using Itty Bitty Christmas, and we're going to be using the Believe. And we're going to also be using what goes with Holly Jolly Christmas is Jolly Season. And these dies have the 'Tis the Season to be Jolly, and the Santa and the Sleigh, and the die cut for the package. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to use is your basic black card base. It's a 5.5 by 8.5, pretty typical stuff. And then we're going to also be using Feels Like Frost, and I chose the one that looks like snow. So that one, and this is actually cut in a 5.25 by 4. And then we also got Real Red, and this is going to be 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then we're going to be using this silver ribbon as well. But let's go ahead and put our Real Red on the card base, because this can go on right away. And this is just cut just slightly under this 5.5 by 4 1/4. So just like that. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our ribbon, and it's just a silver ribbon from Stampin' Up! Here, and I cut it just a little longer than the card itself, which I've already done. And I'll go ahead and take my silicone sheet, which I absolutely love, because when you tape on it, it doesn't tape. Nothing really sticks to it, so you can keep your work surface nice and clean and let there be, glue and stuff on the mat here. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it on the very edge, just like so. And then do the back. Well, look at the pretty back. I almost hate covering it up. And you take the back and just hold it on like so. And then we're going to do it to the top as well. So let's do it again. Just snail up your ribbon. Like I said, it's just a little longer than the card, so we have room to wrap it around. So take that, snail, snail, and put it on like so. And now we can take this and put it on our card. Let's go ahead and do that. So this one is cut just a little bit smaller than the red one. So you just kind of find the spot and put it right there. So next I'm going to go ahead and die cut in basic black the Santa sleigh. And I went ahead and I cut it out for us because I don't want to be sitting here wasting time die cutting. Now on this card, I went ahead and just took one, but I think it would look better with them doubled up. So I'm going to very quickly just take my fine tip glue, which I absolutely love. This stuff is the best. I don't know how many of you do scrapbooking and other things, but I've got that glue that has that silver tip and the pin that you stick inside, and that thing is always clogging. It's so annoying. And this stuff I have not gotten to clog. So it's been awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these two together. And that die gives like a little well almost. So you could just stick this right in its little well and just kind of line it up good. And it'll make it nice and thick. I did it on the inside of the card. I actually tripled it on the inside. But this one I'm just going to double because I think the basic black's a little thicker than the Feels Like Frost DS paper. And just make sure that they're all kind of lined up right. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue it again to put it on the card front. Because if I use snail on something with all these little peekaboo spots here, it's going to stick to the envelope. So you don't want to snail something that is going to poke through. Plus you can see the little veins of the glue, and it just doesn't look as good if you just take a couple of seconds more and just use the fine tip glue and put it on. So that's why I'm using that. So I'm going to put him like he's going up. Here comes Santa. Here he comes. Whoop, whoop. All right. So there's Santy. Put this to the side. And you know what, this fine tip glue I was talking about, it doesn't clog. And the reason why is because it has a different design than the other one. So here's the pin, and you just kind of line it up and stick it in the hole. And it goes all the way in, and then you screw it on. So this is why it doesn't clog so much. This stuff is great. So so Rudolph needs a red nose here. So we're going to take our red rhinestone basic jewels and just take off one little doohickey here. And just put them right there. These are great too. I mean, I ordered a bunch of them because, I mean, who doesn't use a lot of these little red dots? All right. Next, we are going to make the moon. And how I did that is I took the punch that's 1.5, and I went ahead and punched it on the shimmery white. You got to use shimmery white. I've been using shimmery white on all my Christmas cards because, you know, you got to do that. So I'm going to punch that out, find where it flew off to. And then I'm going to take a Post-it note, and I'm going to just put it right on the edge of this because we want to get a half moon. And I'm going to take my punch again, and I'm going to just pull it right past it and punch. And there we go. I'll put this to the side. And we do need to go ahead and stamp that Believe. That's from the Itty Bitty Christmas. And I've already got him all lined up on my A block. So here he is right here. And we're going to use Memento. And even though it's on the orange stamp and it's got a cushion and everything, I really do like using my stamping pad here, the Stampin' Up! Stamping pad, because I think it just gives you a little bit more of a cushion. And I made this moon a little bit bigger because even though this stamp is tiny, I want to give it a little bit more room. So I went ahead and tap, 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 put some even pressure here, and then I'm going to lift up straight and perfect. So we'll put our lid on our ink. Please always put your lid on your ink. So many times I've left it open and then I put something on it and it's ruined. It's like, ah. So, all right, we'll take that and get back our little silicone pad so we can keep the tape off my work surface. And just nail that up and put him like so. And now the hard part, at least for me, I don't know about you, but I'm not the best bow maker. And the only way I can do it really is to do it like a kindergartner. So I'm going to learn to tie my shoes here because I'm like 5, so I'm going to do the bunny ears. That's how I do it. I know, I'm fired. So I'm going to make the 2 bunny ears, and then without twisting the ribbon so much, I'm going to turn this through, and hopefully it'll look all right because I really stink at this. And then pull it tight, and then you just do a bunch of adjusting. So pull this in. See, I twisted that, and pull that in, pull that in, pull that in, pull this one in, and then pull it tight, and then make one, you know, right. I should have like pre-made it like I do a lot of other things, but I want to show you how inept I am at making bows. It's not funny actually. So tight, tight, play with it, tight, and it's good enough, right? So I'll go ahead and cut it off, and I always just leave it on the spool until I'm ready to cut, because you never know how much you're going to need. Get rid of that, and I've decided to only use this much, so of course. And then we're going to put that to the side and get a glue dot. And I'm going to take my pickup tool. Another thing I love, when I was die cutting all my the Santa Claus and everything, I went ahead, and this tool is great because you could take this piece off and then put on your little doohickey here and get all your little things out of your dies, and then take this part off. And this has got a pickup tool, which we'll use in a minute. And it also has the pick, so you can poke out all your little die cuts and also grab glue dots. So I'm going to grab a glue dot from here, and I'm going to put it on the bow. I'm going to decide, okay, which side looks better. Probably that side. So like that. So you now know how to make a bow, kind of. Not really, because I didn't get it. Anyway, so there's that. And you don't need to if you don't want to, but I actually did put on, I don't know if you can tell, there's little stars here. And that is from the snowflake sequins. And these little snowflake sequins, I really love them. Look, we're going to use our little pickup tool. And the reason is because they're little devils. They are staticky, and sometimes you have to pull a bunch of them apart. And this pickup tool just totally is like a lifesaver when it comes to that. So I'm just going to pull out a bunch, and I'm just using the stars, and there's a whole bunch of different ones in that little little box. You've got snowflakes, which we didn't need here because we're using the round snowflakes. I'm using this fine tip glue. There's also little silver ones. There's all kinds of really cool sequins in that thing. I've used that a bunch of times as well. Oops. See, there he goes. I'll find that tomorrow. Probably stuck to my dog. I don't know. Maybe my foot. Maybe, you know, find it somewhere else. Yeah. So, and then we're going to put him right here. And why don't we glue a bunch? And the fine tip glue, I mean, these are tiny little stars, and I'm getting right on it. This is the best glue. And this is the only time-consuming part. I apologize. Maybe I'll speed up the video so you don't have to sit here and watch me glue stars on. But put one there and kind of make it, you know, so everything's got a little spot to it. Put one here. And put one here. I don't put on a lot, but enough so, you know it's nighttime. I don't know. Here. And heck with that. Just pick it up and stick it on. And there. Oop. Anyway, I rushed it a little bit, but that's okay. So there's the front. So that looks pretty good. Now we're going to do the inside. And the inside, I don't know if you could tell from the video, but I've actually layered the sentiment, the 'Tis the Season. And usually a sentiment is stamped, but this one we're die cutting from that holly season. So here's the two dies, 'Tis the Season to be jolly. And I cut these out in black twice. And then I took the two and I glued them together like this, so they're nice and thick. And once again, we're going to be using that fine tip glue because I also cut the third one in the silver. So I'm not wasting all the silver paper on something that's not going to be seen. So I'm going to go ahead and follow the little ditch here that it makes from the die, which is nice. And they fit together really nice when you layer them because of the little ditch. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that up. Take you got some of these kind of tweezers that kind of hold it by themselves. These are the best tweezers. I have a couple of pair just for when my scrapbook table eats my stuff. Then I have another one. So then it looks like that. And then the other one here is 'Tis the Season. I cut it twice. I've already glued and layered it on top. And then here's the silver part. So we'll glue this one as well. And oh, there was something I really did need to mention. I have a Big Shot Plus machine. And my Big Shot Plus doesn't like foil. And this is, the silver is foil. And what happens, and I called Stampin' Up a couple of times, and ZUCGUFMH also, because when I was cutting out the foil, when I first got it, I was getting all these bumps in the foil. Also, the plates, you know, you use your plate so many times that they're all scratched up. Well, the impression of all those scratches came up on my foil as well. And the Big Shot Plus, there is no little impression pad or anything to make it not do that. So I had to cut that out in my little Sidekick. And this is great because my Sidekick did this. Okay, you can see it here. My Big Shot Plus did that. Look how terrible this one looks here. You can see all the little, where the little pokey holes are for where you poke out your die, and it's scratched up, and this one's fine. And it's because my Big Shot Plus, which is the large Big Shot machine, because I thought, oh, I'll buy that one so I can not be limited to the size of paper. Well, the rollers inside are extra strong. That's why it picks up everything in foil. So if you got a Big Shot Plus, don't use foil. Just use your little Sidekick. And I actually love my little Sidekick because I can put little small things through. And most card stuff is less than 2.5 inches anyway. So I'll be using that in a second. So we've already layered those all up. And then we're going to take the inside pieces. Let me move stuff out of the way. The inside pieces, and we're going to put the Feels Like Frost on the bottom and the red on top. So the Feels Like Frost is a 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and the red is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So we're going to go ahead and just nail that up here. And I made these dimensions just a little different than on the front because I wanted to see more of the silver. And then bringing out my little silicone mat again, and I'll grab 'Tis the Season, and once again that fine tip glue I don't want to use, especially inside of a card. If you've got a whole bunch of, you know, if I just snailed this, snail would be poking out between the letters, and if you're going to close that card, it's going to stick, especially if you're mailing it and it gets all that pressure from the mail. It's going to stick. So you definitely don't want to use snail on something that's going to poke out. So use the glue, and that glue is awesome, and I've had it for a little while. It seems to last a good long time. So I'm going to put 'Tis the Season here, and To Be Jolly here. I'm kind of doing a rushy job, so because who wants to watch me glue? And then after this, we're going to do the package as well. And I almost did the packages. I almost die cutted them in my Big Shot. And I stopped myself. It's like, no, 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 no. I'll just ruin the foil. So To Be Jolly here. And then we're going to be doing the packages, which are right here. So what we're going to do is, foil does not like ink. So you can't ink on foil, it'll just rub right off. So you have to emboss it. So we're going to go ahead and get my little tray here, my goodies, and we're going to take our embossing buddy. This is important. I forget it all the time. That's why it lives in my little tray with my Versamark, so I don't forget, because I totally will forget. So make sure that you powder that little doohickey up really good. And then we'll take our Versamark, and we will take the package, which is the only thing we use from Holly Jolly Christmas, is that package. So we're going to stamp that nice, just tappy, tappy, tappy. And we're going to go ahead and put them in the middle like that. Ta-da! And move our embossing bunny out. Of course, put the lid on the Versamark, because anything wet and gooey and destroying will get on your project. And then we're going to take this really good shimmer black embossing powder. Look at that. It's so pretty. And we're going to go ahead and cover him up. Dun, 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 dun. And then we'll go ahead, and it's going to get loud here in a second. We're going to go ahead and take our heat thing, and let's do this. Let's not burn ourselves. And I'll put it on my little thing. No one wants to watch that video. It's like Noreen going to the emergency room. And then we're going to go ahead and emboss. Now, I just turned it on. I usually let it warm up, but I didn't this time. So just emboss it like that. And it looks really nice. That looks fantastic. And then take this off. And we're going to die cut this. And we're going to die cut this on, let me put my embossing powder lid on so I don't like spill it. On the little sidekick. Love my sidekick. And we'll take this little doohickey here. And the die cut from Jolly Season looks like this. And I already have my washi tape on there. Washing tape is only good for die cutting and holding things down. I don't like to use it for decoration. But watch, Stampin' Up! Will come out with some awesome washi tape and I'll have to eat my words. So I line it up and then hold it down with the washi tape and put it through my little sidekick. And it is foil. And when you're doing your sentiments here in the foil, especially these, run it through like 5 or 6 times on the little sidekick because this thing obviously doesn't have a lot of pressure. So, and that foil has got a little bit of a plastic backing to it. So, oh, and I off-did it, but whoop, magic of video. There you go, right here. So then we're going to go ahead and put our packages on. One here. And one here. And I'll put one in the middle. And that. And then we're going to put it in our card. Look at how pretty that paper is on the back. Love it. Get rid of that. And line her up. And that's it. That's the card. So it wasn't too bad. It's just a lot of die cutting and a little bit of patience, but that's it. And if you like my video, please subscribe, please, 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 and like my video, and I can come back and do some more. So Merry Christmas. Bye.